listening to PetLifeRadio.com.
It's a Doggy Dog World is brought to you by Petco.com. Petco is a leading specialty retailer of premium pet food supplies and services, offering more than 10,000 high-quality pet-related products. Enter the code DOGGY10, DOGGY, the number 10, and get 10% off any order. No minimum at Petco.com.
It's a big world out there, and you're just looking for a pat on the back or head. You run around the city, searching for a place to bark, working your tail off with your nose to the ground, sniffing for a few scraps, hoping someone will throw you a bone. You take each lead, collar after collar, hoping one day to take a bite out of success and become the top dog. Fortunately, you come home each day to open arms, open cans, a drink waiting for you, and a comfortable place in front of the TV set. You know you got it good, really good, because after all, it's a doggy dog world out there. Pet Life Radio presents It's a Doggy Dog World with your host, pet expert, and award-winning author Liz Palaika, and this week's co-hosts, Kate Abbott and Petra Burke.
Hi, welcome to It's a Doggy Dog World. I'm your host, Liz Palaika, and with me today are my good friends, Petra Burke. Hello. And Kate Abbott.
How do?
And today we're talking about the right time to get a new puppy, because we're asked this question all the time in our classes. Is there a right time or a wrong time? Well, we're going to talk about some different things and give you some stuff to think about. So hang on, listen to a word from our sponsors, and we'll be right back.
Sit. Stay. It's a Doggy Dog World. We'll be right back after a short pause. Well, 4 to be exact.
There's a movement afoot, ShoeBuy.com. Join the millions of people who shop ShoeBuy.com's over 400 brands and 500,000 products. Order now and get free shipping and free return shipping. ShoeBuy.com, the world's greatest shoe store.
Walk your dog in style and comfort. Enter the code DOGGY, DOGGY, at checkout and get a 10% discount plus free shipping at ShoeBuy.com.
Love your pets but wish their medications were a lot less expensive? They are at 1-800-PET-MEDS. You'll not only save on flea and heartworm medications, but on prescriptions for arthritis, incontinence, thyroid, and more. And you get fast service, free shipping, and a 100% satisfaction guarantee. Plus, our licensed pharmacists ensure accuracy, monitor drug interaction, and more. See why over 5 million people have trusted their pet's health to 1-800-PET-MEDS, America's largest pet pharmacy. Call now or order online.
Go to petmeds.com/world, WORLD, to get 10% off any order and free shipping on orders of $39 or more at petmeds.com.
Attention passengers, please fasten your seatbelts, put your seat bags and sleeping pets in their full upright position, and prepare for takeoff.
Pet Life Radio presents Travel Tales, the show where you'll get great travel ideas on perfect places for you and your pet. From Paris to paradise, south of the border to the South Seas, Travel Tales will give you cool tips on fun vacation destinations to travel with your pet, pet-friendly hotels, and advice on how to travel safely and happily with your furry best friends. So, get ready to pack the bags and the bones with your Travel Tales hosts, Susan Sims and Nicholas Veslowski, every week on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com.
Let's Talk Pets on PetLifeRadio.com. We know you're begging for more. So back to It's a Doggy Dog World with your fetching hosts, Liz Palaika, and this week's co-hosts, Kate Abbott and Petra Burke.
Welcome back to It's a Doggy Dog World. Today the three of us are going to talk about when is the right time to get a puppy. Probably one of the most common questions we get from people who are asking about another puppy are people attending our classes who have a young puppy or a very young dog, and they're thinking about getting another one. And one of the most common reasons is to keep the first puppy company while we're at work.
so they can play together while we're gone.
We also have a lot of people come to class who got 2 puppies from the shelter, 2 littermates, or 2
we couldn't
littermates.
bear to separate them.
Yes, or 2 littermates from a breeder. So let's.
And then I think the other 50% of the time is because, well, each of my kids want one, so each got a puppy.
There you go.
Yes, that's a common one too.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk first about the issues related to having 2 puppies at the same time. Let's not even look at when to get the second one, but let's look at there's some very real problems associated with 2 puppies at the same time, and especially littermates.
For some reason, I'm thinking about when a friend of mine brought in a foreign exchange student, and the whole idea is to get used to a new culture. And when it was her alone with the family, she was actively engaged in learning a new language and new culture and all that. And then one of the other foreign students, or several, would come over to visit. And they would start talking, and unconsciously just start talking to each other and get all carried away with their native language,
right,
which is understandable. But then shut out
everybody
else, the family that they were there visiting.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And they actually had to have someone come in and talk about that.
Yeah.
About, it's good to check in with your roots, but you're here for a purpose. And if you think of puppies and humans as 2 different cultures,
sure,
and you have 2 puppies, they're going to want to bond to each other.
Well, if they're,
it's natural.
If they're from the same litter, they
Even
already
more
did
so.
from day one.
They're already bonded.
Mm-hmm.
But we want them to join our culture, our human culture, our family culture.
Bond to us.
Right.
And it's a little harder when there's already somebody around who speaks your language and is fun to rough and tumble, roll with and play with.
And somebody you've known since you were born, since your eyes open.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's the biggest issue I see, is getting your new puppy dog to bond with you.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And then the one, I think, when you get the 2 puppies from the same litter and then you have the 2 kids from the same family, I think it's like double disaster.
And to match up personalities with kids and puppies at that age,
Yeah,
both
it's
for the
like
kids and puppies is hard.
They're all puppies.
They're all puppies.
They don't really know their personalities quite yet. They're developing that.
So the puppies are bonding to each other, while at the same time the kids are trying to bond to them, but probably competing with each other a little bit.
Oh, sure. Definitely.
My puppy can do this.
Right.
My puppy can do
Right.
that.
And then it's short-lived, and then the puppies are ignored.
Right. Right. And then there's the issues of the puppies egging each other on when they're starting to get a little bit older. They're going into adolescence. You've got not just one puppy who's chewing on the spa cover or the digging up the sprinklers, but you've got 2 puppies. And one grabs the hose and starts tugging on it, and you've got 2 puppies chewing up the hose. So with 2 puppies at the same point in development and age and lack of maturity, they're egging each other on. Again, just like kids. You get a group of kids together, and they'll do stuff that one child alone won't do. The mob.
And then I've seen one puppy take over.
Oh, definitely.
Right.
And stunt the social development of the other puppy.
Sure. Yeah.
So one always becomes reliable on the relying on the other one.
Becomes shy. I'm seeing that in one of my classes right now, that now that they have separated, it became too much for them, and they that became too much for the humans. So they separated the 2 puppies, found another home for one of them. The other one is lost and shy and fearful and in danger of becoming snappish. We're having to work with her very much on that, because her world has been turned upside down.
Her foundation is gone.
Her foundation is gone.
Yeah. Yeah.
It'll be good for her in the long run, I do believe.
Now
it's a harder project.
The experts do offer some advice if you're listening to us and you already have littermates. One of the big things that we recommend is make sure they get a lot of quality time individually. Have one person in the family, have mom take one of the puppies and head north, and have dad grab them, head south when you go for walks, and have individual training sessions and have individual play sessions.
Individual crates.
We
definitely.
Hear that.
Well, they've been together, so we're going to crate them together.
No.
Like, no, separate them. If you can separate them, I'd say even on each side of the bed in your room. One on one side, one on the other end of the room. And we always stress on how to training and socialization separately.
So think of sending them on little mini foreign exchange trips.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. That works. That works.
So each puppy has a chance to learn the culture on their own.
Yeah.
And you as the human gets a sense of each puppy individually.
Right. And we rarely ever, at Kindred Spirits, we rarely ever tell people that they need to get rid of a dog. I mean, that's not our goal nor our place. But we have, on occasion, told people that have two puppies from the same litter to really think about placing one, especially when it looks like one puppy is not getting his or her fair share.
Yeah. Or getting bullied or at least emotionally squashed by the other puppy. Yeah, this is an interesting topic for me that I feel like I've spent the last 2 weeks. I love dogs, love to see people in there. Live to see dogs in people's homes. And, that's what my life is based on. And I've spent this past 2 weeks telling at least 4 or 5 people, don't get a dog. Don't get another dog.
Right.
Yet.
At this point in time, yes.
And it feels weird coming out of my mouth, but it's not the right time.
No, true. Well, you know what, and going back to when you get a puppy, how many of them will get 2 girls? And then we try to warn them, this is what'll happen. And a lot of times they're like, yeah, right, okay, We're trained, we don't know anything like this. And then how many weeks later or before they even finish one
they'll
of our
be having
sessions,
bitch fights.
God, you guys are right. We're having problems.
Yeah. There is a reason why bitches are called bitches.
Yeah. Yep.
Some of us carry that title proudly.
Yeah.
And then when you see the male and female out of the same litter and they've trained together and they sleep together and they do everything together, the majority of the time I see the male very dependent on the female.
Right.
Of course the female taking over,
dominant
that's
bitch.
Normal.
Yeah.
And then the male's like, oh my God, she's 2 feet away from me, I can't handle it. Oh my gosh. And how we then at that point try to work with
some
others.
people are okay with that because they're always going to be together until one needs surgery.
Paul and I ran into that years ago. Our first dogs after we got married, our German Shepherds, mine was a year older than his. We did everything together because that's what we enjoyed. We did dog training together. We did search and rescue work together. We did tracking together. We did all the Schutzen. We did all these dog sports, Paul and I and the 2 dogs. And then my dog died at the age of 7.
Yeah.
We almost lost Paul's dog. And actually we did lose him a year later. And that shouldn't have happened. So we don't get them that close in age anymore.
And I think I'll use that as extreme conversation with the owner if they're not getting just the basics. I'll say, okay, what happens if?
Or what happens 13, 14, 15 years from now? You're going to lose 2 close together. It's going to be pretty traumatic. So
out of the 4 toy poodles that I inherited all in one bunch, 2 of them were littermates. And one osteosarcoma, lost the second one within 6 months. No other explanation except broken heart.
Sure,
Yeah.
grief.
Exactly.
When we lost Watashi, Michi quit eating. He laid down in the front yard. He didn't want to move. He didn't want to train. He didn't want to play. But Watashi had been there all his life.
Yeah.
I actually got him over it. I went and got a puppy.
Yeah.
And the puppy that was baby Care Bear, and the puppy did actually get him up and moving and about and interested again, but we still lost him a year later. And I firmly believe that he was still brokenhearted.
But you're right. Sometimes a puppy can help fill the void for a grieving dog.
Yes.
On the other hand, I told somebody no this past week because their dog is in the process of dying from osteosarcoma. Not yet. And she wanted to introduce it to the second dog.
Right.
But I don't think the boy who's dying should have to go through that yet.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about old dogs more in the next segment.
Okay.
But now, you've got a puppy. You want to get another one later? When do you get one?
I think lately, how many people have come to us and go, well, we're considering to get another puppy. Well, how old is your puppy now? Oh, 9 or 10 months, right in the middle of adolescence. And you want to get a puppy now?
Hardest time in your dog's life.
Yeah, exactly.
Or the hardest time to live with your dog.
Yeah, driving you as the owner crazy. and you introduce a puppy into this. You mad? Oh, you really want to go mad?
They're coming to take you away. Ho, ho, ha, ha.
Funny farm, your life is beautiful. Yeah, like I'm thinking of a couple right now where the husband went ahead and got the third dog, a puppy, and now wife is in the class with the second dog.
Oh, right,
right. She's tired of having a crazy household.
Yeah, and she's having a tough time because that dog's not happy about changing his ways.
No.
He likes the way life is. He likes the rules he's established.
With Dad, who's his playmate.
Yes, and he's having a tough time. And as a result, she's having a tough time. There's not much that's motivating him at this point. So it's going to be a hard road.
I've seen the stubborn set to her jaw, though. I'm hoping she'll do it.
We're rooting for her, and we're giving her we're giving her lots of positive reinforcement.
Good.
Definitely.
But I'll still hear her mutter every now and then. He never should have gotten that third puppy.
So I think good age 3. 3 seems to be a good age. I mean, they've matured, they've gone through the terrible 2, which is, thank goodness, a little brief moment in their growth. But then after that, you're like, now you got a dog who can help you train a puppy. And I don't know how many people have said, and then they've listened, and then they've gone out to get another puppy, and they come back going, oh my gosh, you guys are right. So much easier to train another puppy when you have your other one trained.
Because dogs do learn by observing each other.
They do.
The older dog asks to go outside, the puppy follows. The older dog goes out to the backyard, pees and poops. The puppy goes, this is where we do it. Okay, cool. The older dog picks up a toy, shakes it in the puppy's face. The puppy plays with it. The old dog is not picking up the shoes or the socks, so the puppy plays with the toys. Yeah.
Whatever the chronological age, that's usually my answer to people, is when your existing dog is grown up and well-behaved. Whatever age that is.
We've got Noop's parents in class with their new puppy. Noops is a boxer. And I asked them in class the other day, when did you consider Noops mentally mature? Because boxers do take a while to grow up. And Mom said 4, and Dad says, I'm not sure he is yet. Some will say between 4 and 5. But Noops is 4 or 5. And they just got the new puppy, who's now about 4 months old. And I in my conversation, I said, so is it easier racing the second one? Oh, yes. Noops is teaching the puppy a lot. That's
Rather
awesome.
have your existing dog, grown-up dog, teach your puppy good habits.
Exactly.
Instead of the one who's still trying to figure out a way around the rules and do things as a teenager would.
Right.
Oh,
This puppy will learn from that, too.
Right.
Oh, yeah. And we've heard it. You know, they have a year-old, they decide to get another puppy, it's still chewing on the sprinkler system in the backyard, and the puppy learned, hey, that looks like fun, let me try. We
4
thought
times
a
as
year
much
old,
trouble
if your
now.
year in between was good enough.
Yeah.
Paul and I usually, if we can find the right puppy, usually about 3 years. Now, there's 5 years between Riker and Bashir, but there's 3 years between Bashir and Archer. And we're looking at, knock on wood, a puppy this fall, and there'll be 3 years between Archer and the new puppy. So that's nice. Although Archer is still very puppy-brained. He's a very good boy.
And so is her 11-year-old.
Oh, yes. The 11-year-old's still puppy-brained, too.
But that's by your standards. They're well-behaved household dogs.
Yes,
too.
they're excellent behaved. Archer would rather chew off his own foot than destructively chew on something.
Right.
And he never gets in the cat food or the cat litter box or the trash cans or... No, he's
grown up that way.
Yes, he's grown up that way, and he's a very, very good boy, and he'll be an excellent playmate for a puppy.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
He will have a blast with the puppy. So, that works out for us. Now, for Noops folks, they waited 4 years. But that's good, because then when Noops is getting older, they'll still have a young dog around. And
I think a lot of times the person whose dog has the osteosarcoma she's really looking at another dog to ease her own transition.
Oh, sure, because she can't imagine being dogless.
Or just one dog. Or she's projecting onto the one dog the grief that she's going to feel.
Right.
And wants to, quote, protect that dog from feeling the grief. But grief is going to happen, period.
Oh, yeah.
It's normal.
Yep. Other than when our old dog Dax passed away and then everyone threw a party.
Yeah, they did. They did.
Regular listeners have heard about Dax, but Dax was a working lines Aussie, and she was, well, to be perfectly honest, she was a bitch in the correct terminology of the word, and don't bleep me. That's the way she was. She was a working lines dog. But when she passed away, my surviving dogs, Riker and Bashir, threw a party. Woohoo! The witch is dead.
Oh, yeah.
Dax knew what her rules were, and she enforced them.
She enforced them. Problem was, she enforced them. Let's just say for about 6 months after she passed away, when Bashir would come in the house, he'd take one step in, look around, and look for her, and then come in. So, yes. But most of the time there is grief.
Most of the time, yeah. Yeah.
So, let's talk then about...
I'm sorry, interjecting. I was just thinking about if you do want to get a companion for your dog.
Yes.
Sometimes interspecies. Now, I've had a single dog and a single cat.
Dog. Yeah.
Sure.
I got the cat as a pet for my dog.
Uh-huh.
Well, Dax had her pet cat.
That's right.
Yeah,
she did.
And Paul and I have also, at various times in our lives, had rabbits and ferrets. And I'll tell you what, a ferret can keep a dog occupied. Even with the ferret in a cage, when we weren't home, I'd come home from work and find the dog sound asleep outside of the ferret's cage and the ferret asleep in her cage. But I know at times the ferret would be playing in her cage and the dog would watch ferret TV.
Ah, there you go.
Yeah.
That's it. And another living thing there.
Sure. Mm-hmm. And when we take the ferret out of her cage, when we got home, ferret would be hopping sideways, chee-chee-chee-chee, as only ferrets can, and she and the dogs would play. So, but that dog was trustworthy with a much smaller creature.
Right.
But, yeah, so interspecies can be fun.
I have a friend who has 3 indoor rabbits.
Right.
And 1 small cockapoo.
Mm-hmm. The rabbits probably beat her butt if she got too rough.
You know, they're
probably bigger than her.
The rabbits are in exercise pins.
Yeah.
But they are still friends. They communicate through the pin. They play together that way. She lets them know when their dinner is coming, sort of thing. So there is companionship going on there.
Just have to be careful about the dog and the prey drive.
Yeah.
Because if we never let the ferret out when we weren't supervising, because if the ferret got too rowdy or used those sharp teeth to bite the dog, you know, it would be very easy. We at that time had the German Shepherds, and the German Shepherd could kill a ferret in a heartbeat.
Oh, yeah.
So it was all only supervised.
Sure.
But like if I had a rabbit with my dogs today... They hunt the rabbits at the training yard.
Not a good idea.
So it has to be chosen wisely. Yeah. Okay, what I was going to start to say, though, is let's go back to the people with the old dog with cancer. If you have an old dog, how do you decide whether to get a new puppy or not?
I don't know, but we can discuss that right after the break.
Oh.
Sit. Stay. It's a Doggy Dog World. We'll be right back after a short pause. Well, 4 to be exact.
It's a Doggy Dog World is brought to you by 1-800-PET-MEDS, America's largest pet pharmacy. 1-800-PET-MEDS is your best source for pet medications, vitamins, supplements, and pet supplies. Get great savings, fast service, and free shipping. Go to petmeds.com/world, WORLD, to get 10% off any order and free shipping on orders of $39 or more.
FTD's network of over 40,000 florists around the world have been creating beautiful handcrafted arrangements for 100 years. Each arrangement is delivered the same day and backed by FTD's 7-day satisfaction guarantee. For a century, people have trusted their most important occasions to the flower experts at FTD.
Since Pet Life Radio is all about puppy dogs and flowers, our listeners, that's you, can get a 20% discount on your order. Just go to fleurop.com and use the code DOGGYDOG at checkout. FLEUROP.com. Code word DOGGYDOG.
Hello? Danica, where have you been?
Oh, Grandma, I've been busy, racing, GoDaddy girl.
Oh, I built my own online store with GoDaddy.
Really? Let me see. Grandma'sAuction.com. Hey, are those Grandpa's golf clubs?
Grandma needs her bingo money.
Use promo code DOGGY10, DOGGY, the number 10, and get a .com domain name for just $7.49 at GoDaddy.com.
I love animals.
If you ask the question, what do I want? What do I need? I'll take affection. I really should mention I need time, I need love, I crave attention. Listen to waiting by the door, with shaking tails and happy hearts, and running circles round the floor. That's always when the party starts. For me, they are my friends, they are my children, they are the furry.
Available in iTunes.
Pets can be a wonderful addition to your life because they're a member of the family. Keeping them healthy and happy is important. Pet Life Radio presents The Pet Doctor with veterinary media consultant and veterinarian Dr. Bernadine Cruz. Whether you have a dog, cat, reptile, or rabbit, you'll find answers for your pets straight from the vets. The Pet Doctor, on demand every week, only on PetLifeRadio.com. Let's talk pets.
Let's talk pets
On Pet Life Radio.
Pet Life Radio.
PetLifeRadio.com. We know you're begging for more. So back to It's a Doggy Dog World with your fetching hosts, Liz Palika, and this week's co-hosts, Kate Abbott and Petra Burke.
Welcome back to It's a Doggy Dog World. Now we're going to talk about old dogs and puppies. Now that Petra's reminded us of our commercial break. We get so involved in the conversation, or I should say I get so involved, I forget that we have sponsors.
But we appreciate them.
Very much.
So you've got an old dog. Maybe the dog's, let's say, for example, Riker. He's 11 and a half. He's healthy, other than his hips, which are sore once in a while.
I'd say if you just had Riker right now and no one else, and in your time, and a lot of people also have to say, in their time of their lives, can they also afford another dog? Can they spend an extra time and say, oh, that was perfect? I could see getting another dog with Riker and him kind of bringing out that young, happy puppy in him.
Riker would have a blast.
Yep.
And he still will have a blast.
That's the first thing I think of. Does the dog who's already in the family, do they like other dogs, period?
Mm-hmm. Or do they like puppies?
Okay. Do they like other dogs first? Then do they like puppies?
Because a lot of dogs like other adult dogs, but don't know what to do with puppies.
Okay. How is the health of that dog, and how much pain are they in? If they're...
Right.
If we're talking a couple of months and in pain, I would not disturb them.
No.
Sure.
No.
Yeah.
But Riker and his arthritis, he ignores it most of the time.
Most of the time. He still plays. Archer picks up a toy, shakes it in his face, and he gets up and plays. So for Riker,
it's good.
A puppy would be great. It would keep him active. It would keep him playing, keep him moving around, keep the joy in life. And that's why now, while Paul and I are thinking about getting a new puppy, waiting on a litter, we're not worried about Riker at all.
Right.
Actually, we're not worried about any of our dogs. The puppy will come in and we'll be fine.
Because see, like in my situation, if I were to pull out, if I didn't have all the ones I had, and let's just say I pull out Kona, he's like Riker, he would like it. Mm-hmm. He'd be like, oh, something new, he likes puppies. You know, it'd be something to play with.
He's a scholar and a gentleman.
Yes, and I guess he would enjoy it. Now,
Teddy?
on the other hand, Teddy, I would not.
No. Because Teddy...
Because of arthritis and all this, he gets uncomfortable and he gets in pain in the morning.
He gets cranky.
Yeah, I would not.
Yeah.
I would just make him comfortable, you know, do the best I can, and then after he passes, I would then consider a puppy.
Right.
But I wouldn't bring one in, it was just him.
Right. So I think a lot of it needs to depend on the state of health and the normal activity level of your older dog. If you got a 6, 7, 8-year-old dog in good health who's good with other dogs, who's been introduced to puppies, cool, go for it.
Oh, yeah.
If you've got a dog who's older and maybe has some health problems, you might want to talk to your vet first. Mm-hmm. You know, how uncomfortable is the dog? What is the outlook of the dog? Is there anything you can do to make the dog more comfortable? And then think about how grumpy he is. But even if you've got a dog who's in great health, who likes the puppy, do we let the puppy torment him constantly?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they do need their own time.
We get a lot of phone calls from people who say, he seems to love the puppy, but sometimes he gets downright grumpy and he's snapping at the puppy. Well, yeah, he's an old dog.
Give him a break. Literally, move the puppy away, put him somewhere else, put the dog somewhere else, the older one. Then, you know, and then look at it. Don't go out and say, oh, I want to get a really energetic puppy for my older dog. That might be a bit much. You know, maybe he can really bring out his youth.
You've got an ancient lab with arthritis and you bring home a border collie puppy.
Yeah.
Or a Jack Russell puppy.
That may not work.
Okay, so let's interject something else here into this formula. Both puppies and adult dogs. Do you need a puppy? Do you need a baby
you
puppy?
were reading my mind.
Yeah, exactly.
How about an older puppy? How about a young adult dog? Mm-hmm. Or if you've got a really grumpy old dog, how about an adult dog who's a little bit calmer? There's a lot of dogs at rescues and shelters who need homes.
Oh, yeah.
You don't have to get a baby puppy.
So the advantages to a puppy is you can imprint on them what you want.
And raise them the way you want them to grow up.
And that's good and bad if you know what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
But you can do a lot with an older dog as well, and you can pick what's already been formed to some degree.
And I also think some places you can bring your older dog with you
and introduce
and you
them.
never know if there's something there that clicks so that other adult dog and your older dog.
Sure.
It works.
That private one, Helen Woodward over in Rancho Santa Fe,
You have to bring your dog down. Mm-hmm. Yes. And the whole family has to come.
Yep.
And that's wonderful because they do. Then they introduce them so it's a neutral place for both dogs. Mm-hmm. And everyone in the family can get to meet the potential new dog. And they give the dogs time to play. And a counselor helps you introduce them. It's wonderful.
Because, you may like the dog, you may bring it home, and all of a sudden he doesn't click with the other one.
I don't like everybody I know.
Exactly.
I love dogs, but I don't necessarily like all dogs. And I've seen that with mine. Some of my dogs just go, you ain't coming home with us. I don't like you.
Yeah. And personalities.
And they have every right to be that way. They don't all have to get along.
Mm-hmm. And it's not always the same personality. Bashir and Walter are great buddies. They do not have the same personality.
No, not at all.
No. They're very happy to be together.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, maybe not live together, but at least long trips.
They're
fine.
Yeah. They get along
great. They're good friends.
They're very
good friends. Yep. Yeah. So when you're thinking about...
you're in the same household, though, you are. No.
Need a bigger couch.
Bashir rarely ever loses his cool with Walter, but every once in a while the tooth shows. If they live together, that tooth might show a little more often.
Exactly. So maybe you should take Walter home with you for a while.
So anyway, you don't necessarily have to think about a baby puppy. You can also think about an older puppy a young adult, or even a middle-aged adult dog to add to your household?
Well, I don't know. Was one of our recent volunteers took in
a 14-year-old
older dog, which was older than her dog.
She's a saint.
She is.
She's a saint. Melissa, you're listening. You're a saint.
Yes.
Yeah, she brought that dog, and then she brought it to training class. But you know what? That little dog is blossoming.
Yes.
She's given that little dog at the end of his life. I don't know how much longer he's going to live, but at the end of his life, he's just blossoming. You see him come to class and go, cool.
I mean, that dog, it just shows exactly, you can teach an old dog new tricks.
Do you remember the woman who came? She inherited a 12-year-old Pekingese. Brought him through class.
Oh, and then did therapy.
Did class,
right.
Then did a year of therapy dog work.
Before the dog
died.
Yeah.
But she said that was like the best year of his life. He had a blast.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, I never knew I could do all of, therapy work. He was made for it.
Yep. Yep.
So, yeah.
So you never know. Maybe the dog that will work for your family might be a little older than the one you have.
I talked to some older people who say, I wish I could have a dog right now, but I don't know what will happen if I die. Well, you know what? There are some older dogs out there that would like a couple of years with somebody.
Exactly.
Yep.
And as hard as that is, but
how much joy you give to that old dog.
And get back.
Yes. It always distresses me greatly when I see the old dogs unlist that they need new homes. Mm-hmm. Old dogs shouldn't have to need a new home.
Like in this situation with our assistant.
Yeah. Yes.
Exactly that.
That dog.
That's heartbreaking. I'm glad she got him.
Yes.
And he's thriving.
Yes.
But the reason she got him
was horrible. And we'll leave it at that. Yeah. All right. So, hopefully we gave you some things to think about. Pros and cons, good, bad, whether it be adding a puppy, adding a middle-aged dog, an old dog, whether your household already has a puppy in it or an old dog. Ideally, if you've got a well-trained, mentally mature dog, that's the textbook time to add a new dog to the family. But again, make sure that your dog at home is going to be happy with this, because if he's not, that can be pretty traumatic. So that's it for us with this show. Listen back, we've got more coming. Bye-bye.
See you next time.
Bye-bye.
Having a rough day? Longing for the dog days of summer? Think your fun furry friend lives a dog's life? Well, find out everything you're begging to know as Pet Life Radio presents It's a Doggy Dog World with pet expert and award-winning author Liz Palaika. Every dog has his day, and you'll find out how to make your dog's day fun and rewarding. Every week, on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com.